The media is encouraging first home buyers. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my morning stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this article from realestate.com.au because they are encouraging first home buyers. Well, they always encourage first home buyers, but now amidst a global pandemic, tremendously high unemployment, a lockdown of our entire economy, a, well, once in a century stimulus package to prop up businesses and keep people employed, is the perfect time to rush out there as a first home buyer and buy a property. Perfect time. Perfect time indeed. Am I the only one that's too cynical, and perhaps I'm getting much too grey, and Rachel tells me white in the beard to fall for all this stuff? But let's have a look, guys. Let's have a look. And see, this is written on the 10th of April, not the 1st. So 5 reasons why first home buyers should buy right now, despite the illness pandemic. Wow, 5 reasons. This will be interesting, guys. This will be interesting. So it's hard right now to see what a post-pandemic property market will look like, but there's one thing experts agree on. First home buyers with a secure job should be house hunting right now. Really? Or should you wait until we have a little bit longer market decline and people start to get a bit hungrier? We just looked at yesterday how the market was starting to get flooded by student accommodation. You know, we'll have to see what happens when, well, look at the investments property sector. You can't inspect it unless it's empty. Now that Queensland has passed rules where you pretty much can't kick people out. What happens if your tenants stop paying rent? It's going to be interesting. It really will be. You know, how will that affect the value of those properties as an investment? You're just buying it then for the capital growth. And is there going to be capital growth in a property that's making you no money? Don't worry, Florian. It'll all be right. It'll all be right. In 3 months, it'll just magic back to normal. So this year kicked off with the first home loan deposit scheme enticing first home buyers back into the market after years of little activity. The greatest challenge at the time was FOMO, brought on by increasing prices and a flurry of activity from investors. So, in today's illness landscape, the property market is in shock, but the temperature could be just right for first home buyers with all their financial ducks in a row. Now, here's an argument I'm putting to you. House prices, they have, I'll just bring up this property chart here. We can see property prices, they've just gone up. They've gone up significantly since 2005. Now, part of the reason why that has gone up is a lot of investment has gone into housing. Australia is a property nation. Okay? We've invested most of our wealth of our civilization in property, one way or another. Housing or investment homes, or through our super funds into property. Now, I'm going to put an argument to you. We've got foreign investment. That became a huge portion of building approvals. You can see that from 14, 15, 16, 17. It was over 90% at one stage. Now, every time someone borrows money to invest in a property, so that's an increase in the money supply. Money essentially created out of nowhere. Because you've got to remember, when you take a loan, when you borrow money from the bank, that money appears. So what's happening here is that money's being created, and then the money supply increases. So one could argue, is this the Cantillon effect that's occurring? This refers to the change in relative prices resulting from a change in money supply. The change in relative prices occurs because the change in money supply has a specific injection point and therefore a specific flow path through the economy. So, is this the injection point in the Australian economy to a big portion of our money, because that's where everyone is investing, is through property. So we're seeing this property bubble. And the reason why I'm bringing this quote up again, I know it's my favorite one at the moment, it's because we are reading it for the HeiseSays book club. Join the Discord server to get involved, guys. I'm going to try and do a live stream with people calling in and discussing Richard's work there. So there's an argument. Do you think that could be why, we've got this property bubble? And could that be fundamentally a failure with all of these incentives to try and get people into property, to make it more affordable, and either intentionally or unintentionally they're fueling this bubble even bigger, probably intentionally because so many people have their wealth stored in it. So many of our political leaders, so much of our culture, the Australian culture, is tied up in property. How many people tell you property never goes down? You see it in the comments everywhere on the videos I do. So let me know, what do you think? Do you think is that a sensible theory, or am I just throwing ducks in the air and shooting them with my Nintendo Zapper? So first home buyers don't like fast-moving markets. They can get put off by a hot market. But now there's time for them to carefully consider their next move, said Nerida Conisbee, chief economist with realestate.com.au. They also don't like investors because they often look at the same properties, she said, referring to the sudden withdrawal of property investors spooked by the 6-month illness eviction moratorium, meaning tenants might avoid paying rent until the health crisis blows over. Ms. Conisbee said despite the illness, first home buyer inquiry across realestate.com.au was up. It dropped between February and March, but it's still up compared to the same time last year. It's actually a good measure because it shows some kind of intent, not just clicks on a page. It's people emailing agents about a property, probably because they're stuck at home. And what else are you going to do? Or maybe people want a bargain. I wonder if we'll start getting, lowball offers mentioned more and more. What do you reckon, everyone? Or maybe people are just treading the water. They're touching base. Oh, I like that property. We'll see. I'll wait to see if it's still sitting there in 6 months' time. Kate Bakos, buyers advocate and president of the Real Estate Buyers Agents Association of Australia, the REBA, said first-time house hunters with solid employment should keep looking. It's a great time for home buyers, including first-time buyers. If they are confident their income is sound, there are advantages in this market because there is less competition and some vendors are feeling a sense of urgency, she said. Buyers shopping 4 to 6 weeks ago were finding competition was extreme, confidence was really high, and sales prices were well over expectations. Today's vendors aren't wanting to play things out for weeks in an effort to get a higher price. It's obviously an advantageous period for anyone who knows what they want to buy and is in a position to do so, she said. Well, this is the age-old tale. During tough times, if that's when you buy, that's when you invest. So if you have cash, if you're ready, you've got an opportunity. That's when you get the best deals. Bessie Hassan of comparison site Finder.com said first home buyers have never been better placed to get finance and meet their mortgage repayments. Those first home buyers might have missed out due to the price rise of 2019. They've probably already got a deposit or close to it and are in the perfect position to pounce. And we're seeing fixed and variable rates at record lows. 6 months ago, we were saying if your rate doesn't have a 3 in front of it, you're paying too much. But now that's been reduced to having a 2 in front of it, she said. Ms. Hassan added that while the outside world looks scary right now, first home buyers should try to focus on their individual circumstances. It's a 30-year commitment, and it's probably going to be the biggest financial commitment of your life, and that's regardless of the state of the economy. So do your own research, weigh up all your own options before you sign on the dotted line. But what a great time to start when rates are low and borrowers are king. Banks want your business, she said. So 5 reasons. So what are the experts are saying? Investors have taken a back seat. Less competition is a good thing for first home buyers. It means the market isn't sprinting forward and prices won't be pushed up by keen investors with deep pockets. Traditionally, especially in cities, investors and first home buyers go for the same type of properties in similar neighborhoods, such as city fringe units in palatable price brackets. Since the eviction memorandum, investors have cooled, and the result is a quieter playing field for first home buyers. So interest rates couldn't be more interesting. It's never been cheaper to pay off a home loan. Many first home buyers' parents or grandparents took on mortgages with interest rates that soared as high as 17% in the late 80s and early 90s. But today's rates are rock bottom. CoreLogic data even suggests that more than a third of Australian properties have estimated mortgage repayments less than local weekly rents. I'm not surprised at that at all. I mean, these rates, the cash rate, I'll bring it up here, 0.25. I should update this graph, but it's really pointless to update it, isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, where's it going to go? Do you think it's going to go up in the near future? Lenders are hungry for business. Even before the illness crisis, lenders had loosened their belt for the first-time borrowers. By July 2019, APRA had relaxed restrictions around how lenders could assess a customer's ability to meet repayments by dropping the required buffer from a minimum interest rate of 7% to 2.5%. As a result, it's easier to get finance than it was even a couple of years ago. Couple that with a loss of interest from investors, and banks are very willing to chat to first home buyers. Sellers are more willing to meet the market, and here we go. We're starting to see people are getting worried. Let's face it, a lot of sellers, some accounts say as many as 40 to 50%, withdrew their properties from the market as soon as social distancing measures came in. Many were fearful of how property prices would fare in the coming weeks, or were scared of letting strangers wander through their home. But those sellers who are ready to sell, or who have to, are now more prepared than ever to listen to offers. And some of them can't even leave their house to allow people to inspect. And government handouts. Lockdown laws have changed the way real estate is being sold for the foreseeable future, but government assistance for first home buyers has stayed the same. Each state and territory government has its own version of the first home owner grant with exemptions to stamp duty. Yay, that means that tax that everyone has to pay, they let you off it for the first time. It's just nuts. Nuts how dependent our entire economy and our state revenue is on this system. Really, when you look at it, it's a little depressing. On January 1 this year, the federal government kickstarted its first home loan deposit scheme, which assists eligible first home buyers to get onto the property ladder with a deposit as low as 5%. In the wake of the illness, the government has extended the 90-day time frame to finding a home to 180 days. So there you go, guys. 5 reasons. Government handouts. Sellers getting hungrier. What is it? Lenders making it easier. Interest rates that are low and probably for the foreseeable future. And investors are now less interested. What do you think? What do you think? I mean, in some regards, there is an opportunity here. But I'd be arguing for a bloody good deal. A bloody good deal. And you've got time on your side. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Do you know any first home buyers that are out there looking right now? Or are you one yourself? Do you have family that are looking? Are they going to try and get a bargain? Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or on Patreon for a small monthly fee. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay, or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can purchase our merch from Teespring or the HeiseSays blog. You can donate to us via PayPal, or send us gold from the Perth Mint using Gold Pass. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.